was Memorial Day weekend, 2018, and we're doing flags in, where we put a little stick flag at every single grave in the cemetery. And I get a phone call from my commander, the full bird. He said, "Hey, I need you to go to section 60 right now." I was like, "Okay." So I like haul butt across the entire cemetery to get section 60s where all the GWAT predominantly are buried. And I get there and there's like nobody there. I see off in the distance like General, I forgot what his name now, was putting some flags, and but not a lot going on. So I know my friends from 2007 that got killed are all right here in a row. So I found their rows. I put quarters on their grave, and just kind of sitting there having a moment. Well, this lady walks up and she's like, did you know Jonathan?" I was like, or Michael, sorry. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I was there when he died, and I actually held his hand as he died. Um, and she was like, "I'm his mom." I was like, "Oh my gosh," and that's his sister. I was like, "Okay, now I'm gonna cry. Dadgummit," and
Yeah.
all three of us just bawled, and had a great moment of time just to kind of close that loop of pain, and took a picture with her and stuff. I text her every year. I'm in town, I go have lunch with her and stuff. It's pretty cool. But she um I walked away, and Senator Tom Cotton had showed up, and he's like, "Hey, Womack." He's like, "Who's that? Do you know them?" I was like, I told him the story. He's like, "Dude." It's like, "How are you holding it together?" I'm like, "I don't know," and
Yeah.
I should be crying right now. And then my boss walks up, and then like all this press show up. I'm like, "What the crap is going on?" He's like, "Oh, the vice president's on his way." I'm like, "What the crap?" He's like, "Yeah, it's my fault." And I told him at lunch, so I'm going to come over here and put flags in. He should come. He said, "Okay, I'll be there." And so we're doing an impromptu vice president laying flags. It's like awesome. And so I'm just standing there BSing with my boss and Senator Tom Cotton, and all of a sudden the vice president's limo shows up, and I have flags in my hands. "Oh, cool! You're gonna escort the vice president and give him flags to put in the ground." I'm like, "Cool." And so he walks up, shake his hand, and then my boss, who heard the story about my friend, introduces me to the vice president, and saying, "Oh, this place is humbling, sir. And actually, Travis here has a story he'd love to share you about that just recently happened." I'm like, "I'm not in any condition to tell this story right now." Like, good God. So I tell the story. I said, "She's right over there," and she's kind of like, "What's going on?" And we lay all these flags. There's all these pictures of me handing them flags, which is really cool. I mean, there's